more. But they don't tell you what add more means. So if you want to know what add more means, go to the federal government's website where they talk about biodigital convergence. Because your digital ID is the first step to a wonderful little chip in your hand that will make everything very convenient, because you don't have to worry about losing your QR code or your little card like we do right now with our driver's license and ATM cards, because it'll be in your hand. And Switzerland is already demonstrating this. There are a couple other countries that are demonstrating this right now too. And guess what, folks? It's working. Also, in case you didn't know, Canada is one of 60 countries that signed an agreement in the last month that is going to attach your cell phone services and your ability to access internet to digital ID. So when they say digital ID is going to be voluntary, have fun trying to live life when you can't use your cell phone and you can't access internet, because we have become so dependent on those two ways of communication that you have no choice but to sign up for digital ID. On top of that, in case you haven't been paying attention to the agriculture sector, the government is shutting down processing plants in Canada. There have been over 22 processing plants, food processing plants in the United States that have gone up in flames in the last couple of months. And 2 of them, by coincidence, were hit by planes. So folks, if you don't think there's no food shortages coming, think again. And if you want to believe the government that it's because of Ukraine and Russia, please give your head a shake, because the government has, by design, created these shortages so that you will voluntarily sign on to the digital ID program, which will slip right into the social credit system if you want your vouchers for bread, milk, and eggs. Oh, and the baby formula shortage. Interesting how that's going on. And all of a sudden there's a bird flu that has attacked a couple of birds, so all the chickens now have to be euthanized.